I want to talk about why we need healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries help us in our relationships. They help us in our personal life. They can help us in all areas of life. It's appropriate to have boundaries. It's appropriate to have things that are like, whoa, sorry, that's off limits. Boundaries help us to maintain positive emotional states. If we know that there's something that we're unwilling to do, unwilling to be a party of, or unwilling to allow someone else to do in relation to us, then having that boundary be clearly defined helps you to stay in a much better emotional state, because you're able to say, hey, look, that's off limits. That's something that's a no-fly zone. That's just something that isn't allowed, or isn't allowed is probably the wrong way to say it. That's something that I'm unwilling to accept that behavior. And that can be behavior from yourself or behavior from someone else. You have to it's best to say that this is something I'll accept, and these are things that I won't. Or these are things that I'll accept, and this is something that I won't. Specifically to a relationship, you can choose love. We talked about that in a video earlier. You can choose love. You can be forgiving, and you can still have healthy boundaries. Because having a healthy boundary would be something like verbal abuse will never be tolerated. Obviously, physical abuse will never be tolerated. Any type of abuse should never be tolerated. That's a boundary. That's, off limits, will not be tolerated. That's a game stopper. Now, if something like that's going on in your life, you can set the boundaries and say, I refuse to accept that behavior. And the person who's doing the behavior needs to get some sort of help so that they learn their way past the behavior, because all behaviors can be learned out of. No one is stuck in a behavior, regardless of what popular culture will tell you. People can change their behaviors. It happens all the time. For the changes to be permanent, they got to come deep in here. It's got to go from the inside out. If someone stops something and says, I'm just going to stop it, and they just stop it without doing anything to learn their way through it and to grow past it, then that's most likely going to be temporary. They need to go deep inside and learn their way through, past, beyond whatever behavior. So any form of abuse, set boundaries, no toleration of that. Okay? Other things to set boundaries about are things like what you'll watch, behaviors you'll accept from others and yourself. We talked about that just a second ago. Are you willing to accept laziness? Are you willing to accept just sitting around and being unproductive a lot? From time to time, it's okay to be unproductive. It's okay to just relax, and it's okay to just take care of yourself. And sometimes taking care of yourself are things like exercise. Sometimes it's reading a book. Sometimes it's watching a movie. Whatever it is, it's okay to take care of yourself. I highly recommend that you take care of yourself. So when I'm talking about that, I'm speaking about the individual who sits down and plays video games for 12 hours a day. There's nothing healthy about that. One of the other things you can do to set boundaries is choosing what types of conversations you're going to engage in. If you are in a relationship with someone and you guys have agreed to disagree on a certain subject, and anytime this subject comes up, it turns into an argument, then a boundary could be, hey, we're just going to avoid talking about that because you and I have different opinions. It's more than likely that neither of us are ever going to jump the fence to the other person's perspective and just accept that that's the way it is. So let's just have that be an off-limits topic. In all relationships, you can have subjects you disagree on, and you can still get along. The point is, it's okay to disagree on things. And if the things that you're disagreeing on are issues that in the grand scheme of things are really not that big of a deal, or really are unimportant, then maybe you just agree to stop talking about those things and focus on the good things and focus on the things that you do agree on. And if it's a big deal and you have major disagreements on it, then learn how to negotiate. Another thing that you can do to set boundaries is choose what type of people you're going to be around. Are you going to be around positive, empowered people, or are you going to be around negative people, what Zig Ziglar used to call the negative Nellies, the people who just want to complain for the sake of complaining? I would highly recommend you avoid those kind of people because they're just going to pull you down. If they're firmly entrenched in complaining about life, then you could set a boundary that, hey, if you want to talk about something that's going wrong, then let's look for solutions, or we just stay away from that subject and talk about other things. Because, people who just want to complain, there's really nothing good will ever come out of that. It's a spiraling behavior that just goes off the rails really quickly. So, boundaries can be choosing the types of people that you'll be around. Positive, empowering people, supportive people, people who share your vision, who share your dreams, who believe in you, who want to see you succeed. Those are great people to be around. People who are negative, who want to tear you down, who just want to complain, set a boundary. Stay away from those kind of people, and that's a boundary for you. Another boundary can be choosing what activities you're going to engage in. Some people are perfectly fine going out and partying. Okay, great. Some of us disagree with that on a personal level, and that's okay too. It's our choice. So whatever your comfort zone is, set the appropriate boundary. Maybe you love going out and hiking and being with friends while you're hiking, but you'd rather avoid going to the club. Great. Have a boundary with your friends that if we're going to go out, let's go do something in nature. And if you guys want to go to the club, you go ahead, and I'll just, be okay until the next time the opportunity comes for us to go hang out in nature. Things like that can be boundaries. Another major boundary is going to be what substances you'll allow in your body. There are drugs that are legal. Great. Okay, if you're cool with doing that to your body, whatever the pseudoscience is telling you about it, then go ahead. Do it to your body. But if you are more of a mindset that you want to be in control of your health 100%, then stay away from that behavior. Whatever your thoughts are on drugs or alcohol or whatever, first, I highly recommend staying on the side of the fence legally. That's just a good place to be. And make the decision, when you choose in advance what your boundary is going to be. I personally never drank. Haven't had a drop of alcohol in, over 27 years. And that's my choice, and I'm totally happy with that. There are people who go out and who drink. Cool. That's good for them. That's okay. That's a lifestyle choice. Go ahead. Have your drinks when you want. I choose to stay away from it. That's a boundary for me. What are your boundaries? What are the things you can choose as far as what you allow in your body, what you allow in your mind, what you allow in your environment, or what I call your headspace? Those are all things that are going to have a massive impact on your mindset. And your mindset, as you know, is what allows you to stay in the place where you can get the results that you want out of life. So, now that you know that, I'm going to recommend that you make a list today of what are some of the major boundaries that you have in your life and pay attention to it. Start living by it. And always remember, you are the master of your destiny. Thank you.